A common idea about the blockchain, the technology that powers Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, is that it can create trust, or allow two parties to make a transaction without relying on trust. If true, this means we could create a world without a trusted man in the middle. We could have financial services without a bank verifying transactions, and we could transfer ownership of a house, for instance, without a lawyer. But this idea is wrong. The blockchain does not create or eliminate trust. It merely converts trust from one form to another. While we previously had to trust financial institutions to verify transactions, with the blockchain we have to trust the technology itself. It is also not clear that a blockchain-powered currency, such as Bitcoin, can go mainstream without the backing of a trusted authority. In fact, there are hardly any examples of money, including gold, that have ever worked without the backing of a central authority or a sovereign. Read more, Demystifying the Blockchain, a basic user guide. When you make a traditional money transfer, the bank will first verify that you have sufficient cash, and then debit your account and credit the recipient. Think of the blockchain as a decentralized version of this process. Rather than all of this information being held and verified by the bank, it is done on an open public ledger. When someone transfers a Bitcoin, it is verified by miners, really powerful computers, then encrypted, and a block is added to the ledger. Because all of the verification is done by the system itself, the idea is that users do not need a trusted central authority. Instead, trust is transferred from one central authority, such as a bank, to many decentralized, anonymous participants, the miners. But here lies the problem: users must trust the technology and the governance of the system. What is trust? In economic exchanges there are three kinds of trust: institutions-based, characteristic-based, and process-based. Institutions-based trust comes from the involvement of a central authority. Think of a commercial bank, and a government ensuring deposits in that bank, as in the previous example. Characteristic-based trust is the trust we have in people mostly because they represent some sort of similarity to us, or show admirable features or values that warrant trust. For example, you are more likely to trust someone from the area where you grew up than someone from elsewhere. You might also trust someone with a similar taste in music, or who simply embodies what you value in life. Process-based trust arises when previous experiences suggest that the inputs by one party will be predictably reciprocated. This trust often evolves into social micro-rules or norms. For example, most people would generally trust that if they do not harm a person, that person will also not harm them. Likewise, one would trust that others will answer when asked a question. It follows that trust can be destroyed and lost if the central authority fails, the person you trusted fails, or the process you trusted fails. Read more. Blockchain really only does one thing well.